Welcome to Narratives and Nightcaps, Books, Beverages, and Bookish Conversations. Switching it up today because Emily and I are joined by Khaya Fraites, a voice and film actor based in New York City. She's directed and written 3 short films that have screened at festivals such as Virginia Film Fest and Big Apple Film Fest. Khaya has narrated a number of titles for Penguin Random House, Recorded Books, and Macmillan Publishing. Her most notable work includes Graphic Audio's adaptation of the Empyrean Series by Rebecca Yarros. Khaya was recently featured on Business Insider, NBC's Today in the Bay, and Empire magazine for her voice work. Hello, Khaya. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Kaya.
Thanks for
We
having
are
me.
we are so excited to have you. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
I have so many questions. I'm so excited to get to know you and your incredible work. But first, do you have a nightcap for this episode?
I don't have one at my desk with me, but I do have a couple typical, I guess, nightcaps.
Perfect.
When I'm like winding down and I'm just like, okay, it's time for bed, definitely like a chamomile tea with some
Ooh, I like.
with some honey. But sometimes if I'm like, I need something like salty and briny, I'll go for like some French fries with a dirty vodka martini.
Ooh, you are speaking my language.
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
Both of
Definitely a
those.
salty over sweet person.
I love that. Yep, there's a time and place for both of them.
Yeah, definitely depends on the vibe.
Have you guys seen that trend right now that's like, unfortunately, I do love?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
I love that. I was talking to someone about it today, and I was thinking back to even my weekend. I was like, unfortunately, I do love an espresso martini. Like, I
Yeah.
was like, I know people kind of
Yeah.
hate on them, but unfortunately, I do love an espresso martini. Like, Friday, I love an
Yeah.
espresso martini.
Unfortunately, I do love all martinis.
Yes.
Yes,
Espresso, dirty, white martini, all
so
of
true.
it.
Oh, yes.
True.
Right there with you. No, it's funny. I was really recently introduced to an extra dirty martini by my sister-in-law, and she makes the best ones. So
Ooh,
shout
that
out to you,
sounds
Andrea, on that because they are fabulous.
Have you heard of a tomatini?
No.
It's like instead of olives, you use tomatoes. I haven't tried one, but I really want to try it. So I guess it's probably like maybe like a more chill, dirty, like a more chill Bloody Mary.
It's like sounds like a cross between like a Bloody Mary and a martini.
Yeah, kind
which
of. Yeah.
could be the best of both. Okay, this isn't. I'm digging this. I'm gonna check that out.
I like the name of it. I think that's
Yeah,
so
a
cute.
tomatini.
I love it. I love it. Well, listeners, I'm going to do a quick overview on the Empyrean series, just for those that maybe haven't read the book. And just an FYI, this is going to be a spoiler-friendly episode. So if you haven't read it, proceed with caution or stop now, read the books, and come back. So Fourth Wing is a fantasy series by Rebecca Yarros, where Violet Sorrengail, initially meant for life as a scribe, is forced to become a dragon rider in the brutal war college Basgia. She must survive dangerous trials, bond with the dragon, and navigate intense rivalries, friendships, and relationships, including one with the powerful wing leader, Xaden Ryerson. The series explores themes of survival, sacrifice, and the struggle to reconcile personal desires with the demands of a harsh environment. And book 3 in this series, Onyx Storm, was just released in January 2025 this year, which is where, Khaya, I know all the excitement on that release and graphic audio, and I'm sure you've been peppered with questions since January on all your work with this series. So we're excited to dive in, but spoiler friendly for sure.
Yes. Okay.
So before we get into all, I'll say the Fourth Wing and Onyx Storm and Iron Flame questions, we just have a couple kind of rapid fire, getting to know you, sort of this or that type questions that we'll go through. But to start it off, I think I saw that you recently took a trip to France, right?
Yes, I
did. Yay! What was your favorite part about that trip?
Oh my gosh. Okay, my favorite part was honestly just I went with my sister and my 80-year-old grandparents, and just seeing my grandparents just be so amazed by everything was the best part. Like, they loved Notre Dame like so much. They were just kind of like whispering to each other and just like, oh my gosh, did you see that was the coolest part for sure. Like, it was like we were there for 5 days and we like walked around like all day long. Like, we were getting home at like midnight. And they had like they just loved it so much. It was so cool to like, because it's one of my favorite cities, and I've been like 3 times now. And so it's just so cool to be able to like see them experience it for the first time. But yeah, obviously the views, the architecture, all of it. But that was like my favorite part.
That's
I
so
love that.
special. I love it. Oh my God, that's so
Yeah, it
cute.
was literally the best thing
Cute.
that I think I've ever done, ever.
Oh, how
And
fun.
you make me want to go to France.
Yes,
Me too.
go.
Your pictures were incredible. They were stunning.
Yes.
Love.
Thank you.
Yes.
What are you currently reading?
I just today finished the latest installment of Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu
Ooh.
Kawaguchi. It's these like little short stories about a cafe where there's a chair in which you can time travel to go and like meet and have a conversation with someone who's like been to the cafe. So they're really, really
That's
like
so
cute and like
cute.
heartwarming. I literally just finished it today.
I love the name of that too, Before the Coffee Gets Cold. That's awesome.
because that's the amount of time that you have to go
Right.
back to the past. Is you have to
Ooh.
have a cup of coffee, and by the time it gets cold, you have to go back to your time.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check those out. That's really cool. So what's your favorite book?
My favorite book is probably Legendborn by Tracy Dion. It's like
Okay.
a YA fantasy,
Yeah.
magical realism, King Arthur and Round Table mythology.
Love.
It's so good.
Love.
I've probably said it like a million times that that's my. People are probably getting tired of me saying the same book over and over, but I'm obsessed with that whole series.
There's always a few, right, that you're like, I always
Yeah.
recommend it, and this is this. I love
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
Please excuse the total freak out. My God. Oh my goodness, that
good.
was excessive. What is your favorite way to read? Are you an audiobook person, ebook, or physical book?
Definitely audiobook. I love a physical book, but I just find I don't have as much time anymore to read for fun with physical books, so I'm always listening to an audiobook.
I'm going to join you on that one. I have switched to audiobook this year. I have 2 small kids, and so the only way I get any reading done is if I'm listening to a
Yeah.
book. Yeah. What's your favorite reading beverage?
Ooh, probably a coffee. Like
Okay.
a
Yeah.
oat latte.
It's a good one. It's a good
With
one.
like pistachio. I love pistachio.
Ooh.
Me too.
I like
Oh,
that.
so good. Are you a coffee person or a tea person?
Both. I think I am more of a coffee person, but I try not to drink too much. I try to like keep myself on like a 3 times a week type of deal for coffee because I
Oh,
feel like it's like so addicting that you just want to have it every day. But then like I can't do that.
yeah. I've got to like no coffee for me after 11 a.m. Like I time
Oh
box
yeah, that's
myself,
smart.
and then I switch to tea because otherwise I won't sleep. I'm with you there.
Exactly, yeah. Mess up my
Yeah.
sleep. And when I was in college, I was like drinking like 2 cups a day, and it was
Yeah.
really bad.
I will say, I feel like I've cut back, but once pumpkin season, I'm sorry, I know that's so cliche, but once pumpkin
No,
season, like,
same.
all bets
No.
are off. I'm just like,
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yep.
But then you just
Yep.
have to trick your brain, and you're like, just take the decaf, and then just like try and be like,
yes.
it's.
Yeah.
I feel it, and then you.
Like, this is
The placebo
You'll be
effect.
fine. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
You'll still get the pumpkin. I had my first pumpkin spice on Monday, so first of the
Back. It's
season.
back.
It is.
So do you prefer a cocktail or a mocktail?
Cocktail,
Cocktail. There you
definitely.
Cheers to that.
Favorite genre, fantasy or something else?
I would say maybe contemporary romance.
Oh,
Just
okay.
because I love fantasy, but I feel like I need to switch it up between like contemporary romance or literary fiction, and then I'll go back to fantasy.
I like those little, I call them palate cleansers.
Yeah,
Like I need
exactly.
little like, I need to change it up. Otherwise
Yeah.
it just doesn't. It all's the same. So favorite book tropes or cliches?
There's only one bed.
Okay. Good one.
Friends to lovers.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I like the miscommunication trope if it's done well. If it's like half the book, then no, I don't want that. That's annoying.
That makes me like drag my hair out.
Yeah. And I like
Yeah.
second chance romance too.
I
Aw.
do love a good second chance romance.
Yeah.
Those are
It's like
good.
the
Those are really fun.
history.
Yes.
Favorite character or dragon from the Fourth Wing series?
Okay, favorite character. Violet.
Yes.
Love her. And Rhiannon.
Yes.
And favorite dragon. Taryn, probably.
He's the best.
Yeah. We're also just like in like their headspace more than any of the others. And of course I love Indarna as well.
I love both, but I love Taryn's like grumpiness a little bit. It just
Yeah.
kind of makes me giggle. Like, I don't know if I should be giggling, but it's great. It's great.
No, same.
All right, last one. Favorite project you've worked on, whether as an actor, writer, or director?
Probably Fourth Wing. I don't know.
I love it. I love it.
For voiceover stuff, yeah, definitely Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
And then also I've been doing a lot with World of Warcraft, the video game, which has been so fun. So I would say that too.
Fun.
Yeah.
Both of those have such a cult following that I can imagine it's been
Super
really
high
fun
fantasy worlds.
yeah, but engage with like fans in both, right? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had too much because we were on SAG-AFTRA was on a video game strike for like 9 months, so we couldn't like really talk about our projects until now. So I haven't really like gotten to experience like that fandom or that world yet, but you know, maybe
I'm
soon.
sure it's coming.
Yeah, I'm sure because, well, as we know, Fourth Wing does. It's very funny to have to explain it though to people who like don't know anything about it. So I was just thinking about this. I told Emily I just spent the past weekend with my dad, and like very sweet. He always asks me what's going on with the podcast. He's like, "Who are you talking to? What authors? What are they saying?" And I was like, "Oh, so we're actually talking with Khaya Fraites coming up." I was like, "She's a voice actor, and she's really well known for the graphic audio version of this series." And he was like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Okay, Dad." I'm like, "So there's a series and there's dragons." But so then we're at the bookstore, and of course, like Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, they're all in, and I walked over and I was like, "Remember how I said I'm talking to Khaya?" And he's like, "Mm-hmm." I go, "This is the book series I'm talking about." I was like, "Just so you know, it has this prominent spot here because it has such a following." He's like, "Oh, that's so cool." But I was like explaining this to people who don't really read. Well, he reads all, but he reads all nonfiction. And so we're in totally different camps when we talk about what we're reading. He's all nonfiction. He's like, he even said to me this weekend, he goes, "I always flip to the back of the book because like I already know how it ends." And he goes, "Because most of the people I read about have passed away. So I just flip to the back of the book to see what people said about them, and then I go back to the beginning."
Oh, no. But that's real. I feel like your dad is like my whole family. They're just kind of like, "What do you do again?" Okay.
So funny. So I have to ask then, have any of them read the books now that you've, or listened to, I should say, the graphic audio now that you're the voice of Violet?
Yeah, my sister has listened to all of them. She's listened to all of the ACOTAR books. She's listened to the Crescent City, the Zodiac. She's obsessed with graphic audio now. She loves it.
It's
and
a
now
canon
she's
event.
like, yes. It's like so funny, like seeing it. Like one of my best friends also just finished the Empyrean series, and then she was like, "I think I'm gonna start ACOTAR," and so now she's like halfway through ACOTAR and she's like, "I want to read Zodiac next." Like everyone's listening, and I'm just like so glad that I can be the gateway drug to get the people in my life to read.
Yes.
That is the most exciting thing.
We're in position, you carry it well.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then now I'm just trying to like, I'm like slowly getting my sister into like contemporary fiction. I'm like, "You're almost there. I just need you to pick up an Emily Henry. You're almost there."
You're like breadcrumbing her, like, "Come on, now this one next, no, this one next."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Emily Henry that's a good one. She's the gateway drug to contemporary romance. And then
I think so too. I love her. She's so funny. I love all of her characters.
Funny. From there you're like, "Okay, and then we're gonna do some Carly Fortune."
So I think that I'm at least responsible for about 2 people now getting Audible subscriptions.
Well done.
Nice. I have to say, Bree and our other co-hosts were my gateway into Emily Henry and Carly Fortune, which is how
Yes.
we like met on the podcast about a year ago. And they gifted me an Emily Henry book earlier this year, and I'm sold. So
Oh,
it's it all goes
yeah.
around.
Actually, you know what I picked up when I was in Europe? So when I went to Paris, I also went to Birmingham, UK for one day to go and meet like a bunch of family that I didn't know that I had, which was so cool.
Fun.
And at the airport, I got to pick up the UK cover of Great Big Beautiful Life, or is that what it's called?
Yes.
Great Big Beautiful Life.
Big Beautiful Life.
Yeah. I got the paperback
What?
UK cover. I was like, the paperback's not even out in the US. I gotta grab this right now.
Okay, now I gotta ask: are you paperback or hardcover?
Definitely paperback.
Okay,
Yeah.
same. Yeah,
I just
love
don't like carrying around a hardback, unfortunately.
I like seeing hardcover on my bookshelf, but if I'm gonna carry this around and read it, paperback for sure. Yeah.
I have to have them match. So like,
That's fair.
Whether it's a series or like when it's an author, once I have a paperback, I'm like, oh, now I have to buy all your paperbacks, which sometimes is hard when they have a new release come out. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I can't get this yet. I have to wait. Even
That's
though
fair.
I'm like, I love you. I want to read, but I can't. I have to wait because all of your stuff is in paperback. But once I have a hardcover, that's so bad. I shouldn't care at all, but I really like for them to match. Even, Emily, I finished The Perfect Marriage, which I have the sprayed edge for that. And so I was talking to my husband and I was like, well, now I have to go get The Perfect Divorce. And he was just like, okay. And I go, but I have to have the matching sprayed edge. And he was like, I don't think you do. And I was like, no.
No.
You don't understand.
You don't understand. And I'm like, and this is a special sprayed edge. I was like, she's not normal. Like, she's special and she must have her pair.
Yes.
Do you want me to be incomplete?
100%.
Like, she will stick out like a sore thumb if she doesn't have the match. So, but Emily, I know you were the one that you're like, Bree, there is a matching one. There is a matching one.
You'll laugh, Khaya. I was at Costco, like grocery shopping, right? And I always go through the book section because that's just right. And I saw The Perfect Divorce with the sprayed edge and the hardcover. Bree and I literally just talked about like her getting the first one in the series. So I sent her a picture and said, "In the wild, like it's out. Go find it."
It's so good. I think I like went and got the book to show him. I was like, "Do you see this? You really want me to go get one that doesn't match? Are you crazy?" Like, no. Okay.
I'm glad we're all on the same page with that one.
In similar veins, for sure. I'm so curious though about just like the beginning of all of this. How did you get started with voice acting and especially with graphic audio?
So I went to school for theater, and I graduated in 2019, moved to New York in January 2020, and then COVID happened. So
what a timing.
Yeah, I have great timing. And so I just like I was always interested in voice acting, but I didn't know much about it. I took like one voice acting class in college. We did like a little radio play class where we had to kind of like, our final was to make our own voice acting reel. So I had like a little short reel of just little voices and stuff that I'd done for that. And so I just started submitting to projects on casting websites like Backstage. And I had worked with this fiction podcast company called Meet Cute that do like short rom-coms series.
Cute.
Yeah, they're like all scripted rom-coms and they were super, super fun. I still work with them. I have a series out with them right now. And so I had done like, I think I'd done 2 Meet Cutes right before the pandemic had happened. They like brought me into the studio and that was like my first ever voice acting gig. And I was like, wow, this is so much fun. And then when COVID happened, I was like, well, maybe I can still like work with Meet Cute if they're open to like, you know, having actors, you know, work from home. And New York had like already like shut down. So I called my dad and he like shipped me a microphone from Virginia. He's like, I'm going to Best Buy right now. And he got me a microphone, sent it to me. And then I was like, okay, I have to just like figure this out. And I started like recording in my closet. I did get to work with the podcast, and then I started just booking other small things here and there. And then I, like a year in, got to sign with a voice acting agency, Atlas Talent, and started working with them, and then started doing like more commercials and like some animation and video games and things. And then a couple more years in, I auditioned for a full cast audiobook with recorded books, also on Backstage casting website, where they were looking for someone to do like voices of like children, because they were doing like a horror novel and they needed like adults to sound like kids. So I auditioned for that and I booked like a small part. I think I have like, I don't know, 8 lines or something. And they were like, we'll add you to our roster for graphic audio, which is one of our divisions of recorded books. And they do a lot of these full cast books. And so I was like, okay, cool. And so then I just kind of was doing graphic audio books, small parts here and there for like another year or two before they asked me to audition for Fourth Wing. And when they asked me to audition, they didn't tell me what I was auditioning for. It was just this director I had worked with, Scott McCormick, who's amazing. He was like, hey, I have this book. It's like, you know, think YA fantasy. The character is like kind of like this cool character, like think Katniss Everdeen, and just like give it your best shot. And I was like, okay, cool. And I'd heard of Fourth Wing at the time, but I hadn't read it, so I didn't know like out of context what I was like really reading. But my audition was like her crossing the parapet. And so I was like, cool. And so it was like 3 pages. I sent it and he's like, okay, I'll let you know. And then a few days later, he emailed me and was like, hey, Khaya, so you booked it. It's for this little project. You may have heard it. It's called Fourth Wing. And he sends me the Amazon link. Like, I'm not going to know what the book is. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, it's been all over TikTok. I know what this book is. It's been on my TBR. And so I was like, this is crazy. And then once I found out that I booked it, I read the book immediately. And I was just like completely wrapped up in it as like immediately. Like, I was just sucked in. Like, it's such a good series. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I get to work on something like so cool. Especially like when I was in high school, like I was super obsessed with all of the Hunger Games books, Maze Runner, Divergent, like all those dystopian YA fantasy. And then to be able to like, you know, work on this just like incredibly popular adult fantasy novel is like been so cool and so much fun.
That's awesome. And I agree. I think all of us that read those kind of like YA dystopian novels in, you know, high school or so have now just migrated with each other into reading the Empyrean series as adults.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. What a cool like story. Just the way that you sort of, I don't want to say they're stumbled, or it kind of like just happened from a kid's horror story into writing dragons.
Definitely just learning how to adapt as I go, as quickly as I can, because, you know, I moved to New York thinking like, you know, I was going to do theater and stuff, and never really thought about, or like never really knew anything about voice acting as like a career. But now I think it's, you know, everything worked out how it was supposed to, because I really love it. And also it like just allows me the flexibility to still be able to do theater or, you know, work on my short film projects without having to have like a receptionist day job, which is what I was doing before the pandemic started.
Very true. Very true.
Well, it doesn't really let your career like span all of those things that you're passionate about, which is so amazing. So, that's so cool. I love that story.
Thanks.
So I'm curious, because you mentioned that like Fourth Wing had been in the series, had been on your TBR, and then you booked the job as Violet. So what were your thoughts of Violet, like then when you went back and read the book, knowing that you'd have to be her voice throughout?
I mean, I think because I read it after I was cast, my first read of it, I was like trying to put myself in her shoes, you know, and just kind of like figure that out. But I think that like, I mean, everything you need to know about her is just like written so perfectly and clearly, and like she's automatically likable, you know? And so just being able to like, I don't know, just continue to like let her speak for herself and like me be like a vessel for her was like really cool.
I like that. So going into that, how did you then, like, was there anything you did in particular to help prepare to be her voice? I mean, reading through the series, of course, and getting with the cast and graphic audio, but anything on top of that you did to prepare to be Violet?
Vocally, I feel like she is just kind of my natural, where my voice naturally sits. So thankfully I didn't have to do too much, for that. But, I did also just like doing, like I said, like I first got cast to do like kids voices, and I often do a lot of younger characters, especially for animation. So I guess being able to like add some of that in with the flashbacks with her dad in book one and stuff was also kind of fun to explore, and just add a little bit more of like her history to the book. But then for recording and everything, I think also just like I got to work with Scott McCormick, our director, which we'd worked together like on quite a few other graphic audio. So I feel like we already had like an established rapport, and I kind of like feel like I understand him enough to kind of know what he wants, but he also kind of gives me room to like explore different things of being like, actually, can I just try it one more time like this? And then be like, oh, okay, let's see. And then be like, yeah, that was it, you know, which is really fun. It feels like super collaborative, especially now that we're like 3 books in, like, and we all know the characters like so well. It just feels like really like cohesive. And also we got to ask Gabriel Michael, who voices Zayden Ryerson. We asked after we recorded book 1, everyone recorded separately with our director. And for book 2 and 3, we asked if the two of us could record together remotely like this.
Oh, nice.
And I think it made like even so much more of a difference, because we got to like react to each other in real time. And we also just kind of had like a couple of talks leading up to it, just kind of just trying to like establish like more of the characters' motivations and like why they're saying the things that they're saying to each other when they like mean different things. And, you know, just trying to like keep in mind like, okay, they're 21, they're gonna say some dumb stuff, but like we have to play their truth, like, because that's where they're at, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that was just kind of like fun to explore, and then just getting to like play together has been like so great.
That's so cool. Okay, so you're kind of touching on it, and I've been so curious too. Can you almost lay out like what the process is like for a graphic audio production when, I don't know, wherever you want to start with all of that? I feel like you touch on little pieces of it, and my mind is like, okay, but what does this whole process look like for the production?
So I can't reveal too much because graphic audio likes to keep their secrets, but I can just talk about like recording with Gabriel is like so like rewarding. And I think like graphic audio's never done a production where they were able to have the leads record together, and so we're just like so grateful that they were open to trying it. And I think that like we've learned more through like each part since we break the books up. I feel like each part we've like learned more of like how to work better and more cohesive. And yeah, but I mean, Scott directs all of us, and the rest of everyone records separately their own lines and everything. So, yeah, that's all I can really say on that.
No,
they're very hush hush about their process.
I get that. That's so totally good.
Yeah. I have to say that is super impressive that just maybe on book 1, because it's love that you and Gabriel have recorded together for book 2 and 3, but on book 1 that everyone records individually. And like kudos to all of you and your ability to give those voices the character, and then Scott, it sounds like, to come in and weave it all together.
For sure.
That's very different than, you know, you have a movie or you're doing a film or you're doing a play or something like that where you can vibe off of the other characters. That's really impressive.
Scott is incredible, and honestly all of the directors that I've worked with at graphic audio have just been like next level. I know a lot of them come from theater backgrounds too, so they kind of understand, you know, the acting side of it first before the directing side of it, which also just makes, I think, all of us actors feel more comfortable. But yeah, they're all just like insanely talented to be able to like
love that.
Put all the pieces together and just like know how it's going to turn out.
I love that. Well, you may have already kind of touched on a little bit of this, because it's for book 2 and 3, right? It's great that you and Gabriel were able to record together. But how did you guys prepare or record like some of those steamy scenes now throughout the books? Like, how do you? How do you guys go about that?
I mean, I don't think it took too much for us. I think we did have like one day where we like talked through what was happening and like the things that they were saying in between the moaning, just to kind of like establish like where they are, so that like they're not like, so that every like sexy scene doesn't sound the same. You know what I mean? Because I think it's definitely easy to get into like a routine of like, okay, now we're making this noise and now we're making this noise. But I think just like, again, just like meeting the characters where they are and in the story too, and like how high the stakes are, because she puts in these scenes in really intense moments. Like I think one of my favorite ones is like in book 2, after Violet is like all riled up from fighting with Kat, and like he kind of like calms her down, and that
Such a
whole,
good
you know what I'm talking about, the
That
throne
whole
scene.
scene.
Yeah, it's so good, but it's like the way that like it's like you're coming in with this like energy of like, oh, I want to kill that girl, and because she's like been messing with her head, and then just being able to like zone in, like drop in, and he's like reminding her like how important she is, and like why all of that extra stuff like adds to the passion of it. So I think, yeah, I don't know.
I love how thoughtful you are about those two, because I know like authors with those scenes too, and they're the same way. So to know too that like you're really kind of dissecting what their emotion is in that, again, like what's motivating that, that's really cool, just how thoughtful it is. And I tip my hat to you, because I had to, it wasn't Fourth Wing, but Kingdom of Ash, that which doesn't have like a ton of steamy scenes, but there was my husband and I were driving at one point, and I got him to read the whole Throne of Glass series, and
Amazing.
we were in the car, and I had done a great job, because he's driving and he was like, I just really want to read my book, and I was like, I'm done, my job is done, I've literally been the best.
That's all I want to hear.
That's all I'm so good at this. And he was like, would you like read it to me? Like, I'm just so curious, because I kind of dropped off in this scene. And I was like, happily. Although I just had laryngitis, so my voice was like shot. I sounded
That's
so
dedication,
bad.
Okay.
So I was like, I will 100% read this to you, no problem. And I'm reading. I get to like a steamy scene, and I was just like, I don't know if I can read this to my husband. And he was like, are you gonna continue? And I was like, I will. And it's probably gonna sound really great because I'm so raspy.
That's amazing. Honestly.
So I'm just like, kudos to you. Because I was like, why am I so uncomfortable? Like, this is my husband.
I think that it helps, like, Gabriel and I have, like, become friends in real life, so it just kind of feels like afterwards, like, when we're recording, we're like, okay, we're very professional mode, and then afterwards, we're like, LOL, what did we just say?
That's going to help a bit, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You can joke. Okay, so other than the throne scene, which anyone that's read knows what we're talking about, and I love that, do you have another, like, favorite book or favorite scene that you've recorded?
So many. I love that little scene where Violet and Reese sneak off to go visit her family, and she gets to meet her nephew for the first time, and Violet's just like witnessing it. Like, I feel like there's not a ton of like friendship moments that you see them like alone like that, and so I thought that was like just a cool little interlude. And I loved I love when the scene on the parapet at the party where she goes out to like meet him, and she's wearing her dress, and he's like, don't ever risk your life to come out here again.
Yeah.
And she's like, whatever.
I feel like she has a lot of those moments where she's like, yeah, okay. And then like does the exact opposite of
exactly.
Yeah.
She's very stubborn, which I also love about her.
Mm-hmm.
Or when they're sitting on the top of Ryerson House eating chocolate cake. Like, I just love all the like little moments like that. But of course, like, I love all the battle scenes. Like, I love the scene where she like completely annihilates that guy that like snapped Nadine's neck after he thought that was her. That was so cool to record, and I just love that scene. Like, there's a lot of power in that. We're like, this is how we're starting off book 2. Like, I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
You're making me want to do a reread so bad. Reread, re-listen. I'm like, oh my God, I just need to.
No, those are awesome. And I think it's a nice like contrast, some of those scenes, like you said, where there's a little bit of silliness or whimsy, like eating cake on the
Yeah,
roof of a
yeah.
house, right?
Just
And
like
then
some
like
sense of normalcy in the midst of this like
right.
war and everything.
And then she's like shooting lightning out of her hands, right?
Yeah.
It's a fun balance in the whole thing.
I also just loved
But
the Isle Kingdoms in book 3. Like all of them were so cool.
yes.
So cool.
I love how different they all were and I like want to, I don't know, explore that more.
I liked seeing their whole group's characters kind of come out too, not being in school and not being
Yeah.
in this like do you like this
The
dichotomy, you know, there's
structured
two
place.
sides. Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually starting to kind of work together.
Mhm.
You know, when they're out, like there's that scene when Zayden's there on horseback, I think, and they're traveling to the city and Zayden's
Yeah.
actually being nice and everyone's like, WTF? Or,
Yeah.
that was one of my favorite. Again, kind of a normalcy, but they were all, you know, being a team. It was fun.
Yeah, I love that too.
I think
Yeah.
that is a great segue to talk about book 4 theories.
Okay.
So
Yes.
obviously, like we're spoiling the heck out of this, but
Okay.
who do you think the brother is?
Okay. So I think the brother is Taryn's previous writer.
Oh, that's a new one.
Because
Have I? So,
We're just like gonna fall out of her chair
he
here.
says that I can't kill him any more than I could kill Violet because they have the same dragon. And like if it was also like his brother, like that would also make sense because their dragons are mated. So I think maybe he's alive. He's Venin. He turned
Yeah.
Venin, trying to save Brennan. Oh my gosh, I'm a poet and I didn't know it. And and that's the brother that they're referring to. Maybe?
I can't
Yeah,
believe I
this-
didn't make this connection beforehand. Like that is it's so
Brilliant. But then, okay, I'm going to expand on this theory. Then I would guess that there's going to be a battle for Taryn. Because because Taryn would then come in and be super conflicted. And would we end up with a moment of Taryn and his former writer against Andarna and Violet?
I
you took that far.
I think
I was like, no, Emily, you're totally off base.
No.
that's-
No. I'm just thinking, I feel like, I don't know that Taryn would, like, side with his previous writer because he's Venin. I feel like it might be more of a situation with, like, Jack, like, killing his dragon because he won't, like, he thinks he won't die because he's, like, you know, Venin or whatever. But
Well, I don't mean like he wouldn't side like of his own free will, but like that bond does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Maybe.
with the bond, because technically you're only supposed to have one dragon rider alive.
That's true.
Right?
And I think didn't they say to Xaden or something that he could bring his dragon or something like that?
That he could, right.
I think
So
so.
Did he
maybe-
not bring?
Maybe?
Oh, there
I
is
don't
like-
know. I don't know.
I'm gonna end up deep in the fan theories tonight. This is
know.
a total new
Oh my
one.
gosh, my algorithm, like after Onyx Storm, was just insane. Okay, I literally I had to like sit crisscross applesauce to ponder that.
We're getting serious now.
serious stuff. This is serious business. Okay, what was your reaction to the cliffhanger at the end of Onyx Storm that Violet and Xaden are married?
I'm so happy, but also like so sad and confused. I hate that she can't remember it because of Imogen. So that is the worst part, I think. But like, I don't know. I feel like there's so much unresolved that I just like, I can't wait to find out what happens next. But I think maybe Violet's gonna like still be able to talk to him in his dreams.
I think so too.
So I feel like
that's a good
we're
one.
gonna get some more info like pretty quickly, even if like she doesn't know where he is, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
But also,
That's a good one.
I love that she's a duchess because that just feels right for her.
I was saying, should be. She should be.
As she should.
Okay, I've got one too, because Andarna is super curious to me in Onyx Storm, especially in the end when she comes into the final battle and is like a totally new dragon. What are your thoughts or theories on where she's headed in book 4?
Yeah, I don't know. I was surprised that she stayed at the end.
Me too.
So I really don't know. I feel like she's probably going to go back with Leothin because I don't think that there's any way that her training is like done. But I think she's not done with Violet either. I think she's going to like still come back.
I selfishly hope she comes back because I love her. I don't want her to be gone.
Okay,
so I agree.
Theory, new theory.
Okay.
I think Taryn's previous writer is going to try to kill Taryn. And then Violet's going to almost die because Taryn dies. And then Andarna's going to swoop in and reconnect the bond and she's going to live. That's my guess. Okay. I don't want Taryn to die. Don't take it that way. I don't want him to. But you know, Rebecca Yarros, she likes to kill our fans.
She totally would.
I've been very worried that he's going to die. Like this.
Yes.
I was like, I'm so.
And we had a couple close calls. Like he's not as strong as we think that he is anymore.
So then, what about? I'm going to butcher this. Sagal, because they're mated.
Yeah.
Sagal, yeah.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I love that we have someone that knows how to pronounce all the names.
I know.
Khaya, if there's one thing you need to know about our podcast, it's that we don't know how to pronounce anything.
It's hard.
We're always like, if I don't say that right, so sorry.
Like, even when we listen to the audiobooks or anything, I mean, I'll straight up show up here and just butcher it. And I'm like, or like, I'll read it one way, and Emily and I have talked about this. If I'm reading it and I read it a certain way, I'll look at it and I'll be like, I know that's not right, but that's how I say it. And I just forever I'm like, that is
That's fair. That's fair. So I don't know.
Please don't kill Taryn.
I've been worried about that Kaya's bombshell theory.
Yeah.
And it just makes so much sense.
But that would just gut me.
Yeah, I know. We do.
Okay, hold on. Yes. I need to rewind now because now we're bringing up memories. Wait, so talk about like your reaction to that one, but what was your reaction at the end of Iron Flame? Like, do you remember when you first read that, what your reaction was?
That one was definitely, I feel like that one was worse, honestly.
It was worse. 100%.
Yeah, it was worse. Because Lilith died, and then Xaden was like, Venom. Yeah. Yeah, I was super shocked. I think I was just like, because like not a lot of people in my life are huge readers. I was like, I have no one to tell. What do I do? And then like my sister, she's like, I'm waiting for your graphic audio. I was like, that's gonna be literally 9 months from now. So thank you for making me sit in this alone.
Well, with book 4, Khaya, DM us because we will be right there with you going, what the? How?
Yeah.
I think it was Iron Flame. I had a book festival that I was at for the podcast. I was like speaking on a panel or whatever. And I remember one of my friends who reads all the time, like we read all the same books. She was texting me and she was like, have you started yet? I'm like almost done. And I was like, I haven't started. Do not tell me anything. I'm literally in Miami right now. Like, do not tell me anything. I was like, I have Jared hide the book back home. And so like I get back and I sent him, you know, the meme from Game of Thrones where she's like, where are my dragons?
Mm-hmm.
I sent that to Jared because I was like, tell me where my book is. I was like, where are my dragons? Where are they? And so I started reading and I'm right there with you. I don't know how, if you didn't have anyone to talk to, because I was like physically sweating as I was finishing that book. I was just like so upset.
Yeah.
And I like threw my book on the bed and then Jared was out playing video games and I yelled like I think we all did. And I was stomping around the house, and he was like, sorry if you'll hear that in the background, talking to his friends. He's like, Bree just finished a book. I was like, okay, well, way to make me sound lame. I was like, this is a big deal.
This is not just a
it's
book.
It's a huge deal. Yeah. For the third book, I definitely had some more people to talk about it with. I think I texted Nicole from Fantasy Fangirls, and I just said, ah! And she was like, yeah. And then I actually finished reading book 3 on an airplane. And so I was just like at 30,000 feet crying my eyes out over Quinn and Imogen. And then after I finished the book, I was like, I need to calm down. These people are not real. Stop crying. Go to the bathroom, fix your face. I went to the bathroom and there was a flight attendant in the back of the plane reading Onyx Storm. And I looked at her page and she was almost done. I was like, oh my gosh, I literally just finished it. And she was like, I have 30 pages left. And I was like, I am in 32B. Come find me. And she's like, okay, I'll find you when I'm done. And like when we landed, she came and she literally like walked up to me like this and sat down in the seat next to me. And she was like, I'm done. And she was like, what the heck was that? I was like, I know. And she's like, I'm so glad we met because none of my friends have finished this book. And we just like were gabbing about it like while we were taxiing.
Okay,
I love that.
I love how this
it was amazing.
And with like ACOTAR, it just like brings people together because you do. The second you see someone wearing a sweatshirt or wearing a t-shirt or reading that book, it like on a plane or while you're waiting, you're like, I'm one of you and we are together in this.
I see it all the time too because I live in New York and so lots of people read on the train. So I'm always like curious, like, ooh, that's a good one.
That happened to me with Crescent City is I was flying through Chicago and I had like, maybe 85 to 100 pages left of book 2. Mm-hmm. And I like was carrying the book because it's massive and didn't fit
huge,
the suitcase. So I was like carting it through the airport, right? My third piece of luggage. And I went into the bookstore and the lady like saw where I was and she was like, here's book 3. Just bring it with you on the plane. So, I was
You're
like,
a real one for that.
Yeah, I was like, really? Okay. So I bought book 3 and sure enough, I'm in the middle seat, like frantically going through the end of book 2 of Crescent City. There are 2 older gentlemen that are sitting on either side of me who I promise have not read this book. And I'm like doing this and like crying like the whole thing. And thank goodness for that bookstore lady because I immediately finished it, closed it, brought out book 3 and like flipped it open. Because I still had hours left in my flight. Yeah.
That cliffhanger is diabolical. I love the Crescent City trilogy.
Oh my gosh. Book 2 for that. That was another one where you're like audibly say like, oh my gosh, holy shit, what is happening? Yep. What is going on? But I thought you were going to say you cried because I read the first Crescent City on the plane, and that was one too where
I also
not
cried.
Even 100 pages in.
I cried so
I'm
much
sobbing
for the first one.
Yeah, sobbing, and I'm like, how am I attached to these people? It's been 60 pages.
Yeah, I remember when that scene happened. I was in a Times Square subway station, and I was listening to the audiobook, and I literally was like, like I'd been shot. And was just like gasping for air. And I was like, how are so many people commuting right now? This is insane. But I think I cried more towards the end for Lahaba.
It was so bad. Oh.
I will say, I think the top 3 worst book like cliffhangers for me is in no particular order, just the 3. Would be what we've talked about with like Iron Flame, Onyx Storm, like those endings, Crescent City, and when Dumbledore dies in Harry Potter. Those are like up there, those 3.
I have not read the Harry Potter books, but I have seen the movies now. I watched the movies for the first time.
I was about to like, did I just spoil this? Okay.
I watched them for the first time a couple of years ago, like maybe 3 years ago, and I was like, wow. It was really good, but I was like, wow, that's like sad that like I feel like I missed out on such a huge moment in time when I was in middle school.
Equally long, books, but I'll say the movie also does. I mean, you know what happens in the story, right? Also, same thing, cliffhanger at the end. It's up there with Lahaba and the end of or the first 100 pages, Crescent City, and Iron Flame. All of those, it's like, and then when you have to wait for the next book to come out is torture.
Yeah.
Torture.
That's the worst part.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to Fourth Wing theories, and on a similar note, though, of potentially emotionally traumatizing, potentially, because they're theories, will Xaden be redeemed and healed from being a Venom? Do you
I think so. Yeah. I don't know how, though. I have no idea how. I wonder if, like, I wonder if there's any kind of cancellation process with like with like if he dedicated himself to a temple, like if he dedicated himself to Dune, like
Interesting.
like the reverse of Theophany, because she was like dedicated to Dune and then became Venin, and so now like Dune basically cursed her. So I wonder if a Venin dedicated themselves, would that like Uno reverse? Because I would like an Uno reverse.
I like an Uno reverse. Yep. I like that theory. I'm so curious if I go back to Andarna. I feel like there's more there that I don't know if that would come into healing a Venin, but I just am curious if there's something like that's gonna come out.
And maybe like the rest of the Irids don't even know that they can.
Right. Maybe.
Emily, I pose that question to you too. Do you think he'll be healed?
I want to say yes. Like my heart wants to say yes, but I am skeptical that Rebecca Yarros would let him be healed.
No.
I know. Like I
just can't accept that.
I want to say yes. I just don't know.
Do you watch The Samurai Turn Pretty at all?
I do not.
So, I have complicated feelings about that. I read those books in middle school, and so I have only watched season 1 of the show, and I'm waiting for it to be completed before I go back and watch.
Well, it's completed today. Today's the last episode. But not to tangent.
I actually think it is, because I'm seeing confusing things on the World Wide Web.
It's going to be done today. I'm having a watch party in 2 hours.
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Well,
but I was just going to say, like, in regards to Xaden / same for Samurai Turn Pretty, Conrad, just give the people what they want.
Give them what they want. Yes.
Just give us what we want. We've put in so much time and energy into these fictional worlds. We just want a happy ever after.
Yes.
We do. Okay, that honestly, I'm disappointed that wasn't in our questions about like, are you Team Conrad or Team Jeremiah? Because it says everything about you.
Yeah, I definitely have some common sense, so I am Team Conrad.
Okay, but Bree, I'm gonna go back. What do you think Xaden will be redeemed and healed?
So I want with all my heart for him to be healed. I was okay. Hold on. Let me get my thoughts together. There's a lot going on up there. I think he will be healed. I do worry about like what the end for him and Violet actually looks like, and I don't mean them not being together. I think their end game. I'm pretty sure Rebecca Yarros has basically said that. Like, but I do worry about their state of aliveness.
Me too.
End of all of this.
I also think if they weren't endgame, I think Rebecca Yarros would have a riot on her hands.
Yeah.
If they weren't endgame.
There would be a revolution. People would.
I think I think she knows what. I think we're in good hands.
Okay.
We've not been
100%.
too disappointed thus far, right? A little scrapes and bruises, but
I think we can expect some deeper wounds. Whether it's
I think there's deeper wounds coming.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I do think we can expect some deeper wounds for sure.
As long as it's not Rhiannon, Xaden, Sawyer, Jacinia, or Riddick.
Oh, yes. I can't take any
Brennan.
Taryn, Siegel, and all of them. Yes, exactly. All of them.
Yeah,
Too
basically.
Funny.
Easy.
Easy. If you just leave those out, then we're all good, right?
I'll send that clip in particular to Rebecca Yarros and be like, so I just want to let you know, we talked about your pod, and here's what we need.
Thank you. I like it. Too funny. Well, I have to ask, Kai, would you be willing to do a reenactment of your favorite line from the graphic audio? Your choice, dealer's choice.
Okay. I guess like her motto that she always goes back to is, I will not die today.
I just got goosebumps. I love it. I love it.
Oh, it's so perfect. It's so perfect. I'm so curious, like,
Okay.
what advice, I mean, just all of this entire conversation, your amazing story with your career, what advice would you give to aspiring actors, either voice or film?
I would just say that like your voices are needed and don't let like you thinking that like you don't have a voice for this like stop you from doing what you want to do because I never thought I would be a voice actor. I don't particularly love the sound of my own voice. I think I've just gotten used to it now, but I think that every voice can be like a voice actor voice, a narrator voice. I think like what's more important is that you're just doing the acting work and you're like being present and you're just giving like the best performance that you can. And then everything else is going to like fall into place. So just like trust your instincts, take some acting classes if you want to get started, and then just like put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
That's such good advice, just
Love
across
that.
the board. I love that. And I think that's really important too. Sorry, not gonna get on a soapbox about it, but like today, just like whether it's voice acting or even writing too, like whether it's your voice or your words, like your words are
Yeah,
you
for
and they're
sure.
relevant too. So if you're an aspiring
Hmm.
writer, I think that just applies across the board.
I think that's definitely like the thing that every artist industry is always lacking is diversity. So we definitely need your voices.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, Kaya, I'll have to ask you, what's next for you? New graphic audio, film, directing? What's next?
Yes, a lot of fun things. I just had a YA mystery book come out this week that I narrated called Mystery James Digs Her Own Grave. And it's about a
Cool.
girl who works and lives at like a cemetery. Um,
Interesting.
and very perfect for spooky season
I was
coming
gonna
up.
say
Yeah.
we're in the Burr. I think we were calling on the last episode the Burr months, spooky
Oh,
We are
season,
yeah,
the
the
and we're
Burrs.
yeah, the Burrs. We're here.
The Burr cousins.
There you go.
Um, and then I also had another mystery book that just recently came out called In Deadly Company by L.S. Stratton, which is a murder mystery that is being turned into a Hollywood film. So you're like seeing what's happening in this mystery story as it's being shot on set, which is really fun.
Wow, that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I loved it. It was so interesting. And then speaking of film, I made a short film called Narrated By. That's a comedy about romance audiobook narrators.
How perfect.
Yeah. And it's screening at the Chicago Film Festival on October 25th and 26th. And the Michoud Film Festival the same weekend in LA. So yeah, and the Tacoma Washington Film Festival on the weekend of October 10th. So a lot of fun
How
things coming up.
exciting. That is
Yeah,
very cool. Are you getting
thank
to go to
you.
the premiere of any or all of those film
I'm going to
festivals?
Chicago. Yeah.
Very cool.
I would like to
Very
go to
cool.
all of them, but yeah.
Well, they're on the same week too, but that's
Yeah, two
exciting.
of them the same week.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very
That's
Yeah.
cool.
amazing. Yeah, I second that. Congratulations. That sounds so exciting. So I
Thank
can't
you.
wait to follow along too and
Yeah.
see more about your travels and everywhere that you're going and all the projects. For anyone else that wants to connect with you as well, where is the best place to find you?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Khaya Fraites or at khayafraites.com.
Kaya, thank you
Perfect.
so much for
Thank
joining us
you.
for an episode of Narratives and Nightcaps. This has been just so much fun talking to you about everything that you're doing, all your fun projects, and of course, Fourth Wing as well. So, thank you for making the time to chat with
Thank
us on the
you.
pod.
Yes. Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
having me.
much.
So fun.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Of
Cheers.
course. Cheers.
Cheers.